gentlemen. My name is Puya Merkel, and I'm honored to present the technical presentation of the Barcelona Tech Team project. Like all the other teams, we aimed at detecting the vancomycin by like other teams, we aimed at detecting and measuring the concentration of the vancomycin in our system. We decided to use the competitive indirect competitive ELISA and for detecting the vancomycin, and we used the impedance measurement for calculating the concentration of vancomycin in the samples that we have. This is the initial design that we meant to fabricate. This design is consisted of a mixer and a sensor. The antibodies which are anti-vancomycin are being added to the sample, as you can see, 10 microliters. And when they are mixed together on the sensor, we can measure the electromagnetic characteristics of the final sample that we have there. We decided to use the rabbit polyclonal antibody, and we used the mixture of twin and PBS for washing steps. The indirect competitive ELISA is based on preparing a sensor, then coating it with vancomycin, blocking it later, adding the sample, which is pre-mixed, with the capture antibody, washing it, adding the second antibody, which will be used for amplifying the final results that we will have, and washing the excessive secondary antibody, which will leave us with a prepared sensor that is completely ready to be measured via impedance measurements. We used the Microx ED-IDE3 gold interdigitable electrodes for making the electrodes prepared. We used Piranha method and also followed by Aptus method for making sure that the vancomycin is perfectly attached to the surface, and for the control that we use as an standard for the electrodes that we were using, we decided to use 1 microgram per milliliter. The concentration of the vancomycin was 1 microgram per milliliter. It was left overnight. After it, when we made sure that it is washed and dry, we measured the impedance in our device. We used the Palm Sense 4. The setting is visible here. The Palm Sense was set to apply 250 millivolts. And this is the effect of the second antibody which I was talking about. As you can see, the differences over here could be a little bit not very distinguishable. But if we add the second enzyme conjugated antibody, the differences would be much more visible. That depends on the application we are using for and the range we are dealing with. The final results, the minimum detected sample was 0.1 microgram per milliliter. It should be noted that here we did the reverse measurement. By reverse measurement, I mean if the capture antibody is attached, if no capture antibody is attached to the surface, it means that we had a lot of vancomycin in the sample at the first place. So it would be the maximum amount of vancomycin, which will leave us with lower impedance. If all the coated vancomycin are conjugated with the anti-vancomycins, this means that the sample in the first place didn't have any vancomycin in it, and it will leave us with higher impedance. Thank you for your time. Yes, sir. We did interpolation for finding, right? As you saw, it could be very tricky. In some part, we might need the second antibody for distinguishing the results from each other. Since we were wanting to skip some parts, we're making it much more faster. That is why we decided to use linear interpolation to say, okay, this could be the approximate amount of the concentration in our sample. Yes? Well, if it does need a preparation time, for instance, the sensor needs, as you saw, it needs piranha cleaning, it needs app test, and after that it needs coating. But for the market that we design, we have considered that those sensors to be purchasable by the possible customers later. In that case, the only thing you need is just to put the sensor in the device, add the sample, and after 5 minutes you have the results. You don't need to do anything extra. Those are pre-done somehow. Yeah. Sorry. Well, at first when we started to use these antibodies, we noticed that some of the antibodies are polyclonal, and those polyclonality, the other antibody that we were using, that caused, for instance, removing some of itself. Just imagine we have a vancomycin in the media, and it is attached to several antibodies at the same time. And that caused some false results in some of the trials we had. But, sorry. In the to be frank, in the electrochemistry, we didn't face any major problem in there. Since we were at first we were coating it with vancomycin, and after that the anti-vancomycin were attaching to the vancomycin which were coated on the surface. In that case, we didn't have the results, the initial results we had were very promising. Okay. After this speech, I can answer any question you have.